I mean, honestly, I should have been dead. I was hemorrhaging. We found I was hemorrhaging for 3 weeks.
Yeah, like they told us, they're like, we're not sure how you walked in here, because most
was
people that
walking
deal
dead.
with this are like already. As a mortgage lender, I work with a lot of different types of real estate agents, and I have preferred real estate agents that I work with. It's kind of a two-way street in most cases, right? I've got real estate agents that have buyers that need to get pre-qualified, so they send them to me. And then every once in a while, I get buyers that I pre-qualify that need a real estate agent to help them find a home. The realtors that I can never ever get away from, because she lives right here at my house, is my beautiful wife. This is Heather Hatch with Home Smart Lifestyles. She's a total badass. Don't let her try to downplay it. She is a top producer in her brokerage. Every broker she's ever been in has always been one of the top people. I want to just have the world know a little bit more about my amazing wife, especially when it comes to real estate, because you decided to get into this because of me mostly.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how you got into real estate, why we got into it, and how it's going.
Originally, we talked about it when I was working in corporate America, but I was at a company that was an investment company that I wasn't able to hold an active real estate license with because it was a conflict of interest. So I decided not to waste that money of going to school. I want to say, 5 months later, after our anniversary trip,
I think so.
we came home from San Diego, and I was like, I had a weird vibe from the company. I was really burnt out. I was done. Our youngest was 10 months old at the time, and our oldest was getting ready to start kindergarten. We were in speech therapy with him. It was taking a lot of time. I had, unfortunately, a manager that was unwilling to accommodate family time to allow me to be there for our son, who needed a little extra help when it came to school and speaking. I called Braden after our trip from San Diego, one anniversary 7 years ago, and he said, put in your letter. And I said, okay, I'll be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, I remember those days. So quick background. So we tend to make major life-altering changes
Oh gosh.
without really thinking about them. We're more of those jump before we look types of people. Luckily, it's worked out for the most part.
It has, because you got into mortgage when we were pregnant with Lily.
Yeah, so I know I've told this story before, but
2 weeks before I had her.
I was working at a corporate job at the big bank, at Wells Fargo. We can say it doesn't matter. So I was working there as a bank manager, and just same thing, got tired of this stupid grind and climbing the ladder and all of that crap. And so someone came up to me and brought me this idea of going into mortgage, because it was a commission-only job and you could make as much as you were willing to work, and I really liked that idea. So yeah, it was right before our daughter's over here playing in the background
sitting right over
now.
there. But if you see me looking, I'm looking at her because she's like
we're staring
being
her
goofy.
down. But I remember you were super pregnant.
I was 2 weeks from giving birth to Lily.
2 weeks from giving birth.
And you decided to switch
And I decided to quit my
from
job.
salary to commission.
So I quit my job, and I was like, all right, I'm out. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I went into mortgage, which is commission only.
And you were supposed to go out of state for training.
Yeah, and I was supposed to go out of state. So anyway, so I got into it, and then I had been in it for about a year? No, not even a year. About 6 months before you decided to quit your job?
No, I quit when she was 10 months, so almost a year.
So about a year, okay. Yeah. So about a year into the whole mortgage gig, I was doing okay. I wasn't doing as good as I could have been, and good as I am now. But I mean, I was definitely making less than I was making as a bank manager. But again, I'm always optimistic and thought that figured I'd keep making more. So yeah, she called me pissed off, dealing with all this drama with her work and everything. And I was like, babe, just quit. Just quit. You don't need it. I got you.
Finally got to the point where I could stay at home, and I was like, sweet, I'll stay at home with our babies, take our son to school. I can do this. I can do the stay-at-home mom thing.
How long did that last? I still remember this.
6 months. I called him or texted him and just said, I'm not a floor mom. I'm not a stay-at-home mom. Nothing wrong with stay-at-home moms, floor moms, hands-on moms that will sit there and play on the floor with their kids for hours. I'm just not that person. I love my babies. I love being creative with them, but I need my time. And so I was like, I just want to get a part-time job. Can I just go to Target, Starbucks, my two favorite places?
Like, I'll just go work for Target or Starbucks.
And so he was like, go get your real estate license. We had already talked about it. Yeah. And so I enrolled with the Arizona School of Real Estate and Business when our daughter was 18 months old, I want to say.
About a year and a half.
Yeah. It wasn't easy. I did the in-person at my pace.
Right. So you went to the in-person school. How long did that take? Was it like 2 weeks? A month? I don't remember. It's a long time ago.
So they have a fast-paced course, which is 9 weeks. I think I did whatever was self-paced. It took me 7 months to get my license for a lot of different reasons. One, I sucked at passing the school exams, and you have to get through the school exams first. And this is when they originally still had all paper. So they had 7 different exams, 1 through 7. If you hit number 7, you rotated back up to test number 1, which was the original one you took.
How many times did you fail the school exam?
Oh, fuck. 7, because I passed it when I went back to test number 1. But in the same time that I was doing that, we went through my very first health scare.
Was it
my ectopic pregnancy? I was 8 weeks pregnant and did not know I was pregnant, and I was in my second time taking a review course up in Peoria with a really well-known educator. He was fabulous. He gave me confidence, and I just wasn't feeling right, and I was getting ready to take another school exam, and I fell very, very ill. Thank you to my best friend at that time of saying, hey, I think it sounds like you're having a miscarriage. Took a pregnancy test. Call my husband. It says I'm 8 weeks pregnant.
Oh man! So real quick, I mean, that was pretty nuts too. So while she's in real estate school, trying to get her real estate license,
studying at Barnes & Noble in Santan.
Yeah, we've got 2 kids. Mm-hmm. We were not planning on having any more.
We were done.
We didn't even plan on the 2 that we have. Sorry, Lily.
Love you. We were done. We had completed our family.
Yeah, we thought, and so I remember just the roller coaster of emotions that day. So number 1, we went into you took the test, saw that we were pregnant. We went in. I remember I left work immediately.
My OB was kind. She canceled some ultrasounds.
Mm-hmm. So I meet you at the hospital, and then they get us in for an ultrasound. And I'll never forget the look on that ultrasound tech's face as she's doing her thing.
Abby, my OB, said, as long as it's not in your tubes, we can you'll be high risk. We'll watch you every step of the way.
Yeah.
As long as high risk pregnancy. Yeah, my pregnancies have always been high risk.
Yeah, they're doing the ultrasound, and the person's face, she just like goes blank, and she's like, what? She's like,
we'll go ahead and talk to you in the other room.
I'll have someone talk to you in the other room. And we just looked at it, we're like, that's not good.
And then we walk out of the ultrasound room, and I see all of the nurses, which a lot of the nurse practitioners, the OBs, just the medical assistants. I was with this practice for so long that they've been through all of my babies with me.
Ironwood, right?
It was Mom Doc, Banner Ironwood.
Yeah, shout out to Mom Doc and Banner Ironwood.
Love them,
phenomenal.
love Abby over there. But they all knew me, and I walk out of that ultrasound room, and I could just see it in their face. And as soon as we get into the room, I lost my ever-living mind. Abby comes in with a medical assistant and says, we're walking you directly over to the ER, which luckily it's right there where the Mom Doc office. But our son was getting out of school, so I was stuck waiting in the waiting room with the medical assistant while he went to go get our son from school to get our neighbor to watch him so he could come back.
You always remember more details than me.
I do, especially when it's my babies.
I just remember, like, in my head, like, first they tell us we're pregnant, so I'm like, okay, we have to...
How do we figure this out?
I was like, we only have 2 bedrooms. We're going to have to shack one of the kids up with the other ones. Like, again, this was before this house, so I was like, okay, we'll figure that out. So I'm literally trying to plan having a 3rd kid. Yeah. And then less than 5 minutes later, we're dealing with...
Yeah, I'm being told I'm being rushed into emergency surgery.
And then we're speaking with the surgeon on call that was going to do the surgery.
She was a well-known ectopic pregnancy surgeon.
Yeah, we got really lucky that the surgeon on call happened to have a really good track record with ectopic pregnancies. That's when the baby gets stuck in the tube.
And unfortunately, I've had a numerous amount of miscarriages that once you have an ectopic, it's higher than a standard miscarriage. And I mean, honestly, I should have been dead. I was hemorrhaging. We found I was hemorrhaging for 3 weeks.
Yeah, like they told us, they're like, we're not sure how you walked in here, because most people that deal with this are like already you were basically bleeding internally.
At my follow-up appointment after the surgery of losing both my tubes, unfortunately, we lost both. she said I was her worst case in decades of her being an emergency surgeon for OB practice.
Oh, yeah. So that was the other part of it. So like, one, we're planning on thinking we're going to have a third kid, and then number two, we find out I have to have the surgery. She said, you know, we technically only have to remove the one, but because you're so high risk, we recommend taking both. Which, I mean, that sucked, because I remember it was like, well, now we for sure are never having more kids.
Unless we're paying thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Which we kind of knew, but like, it was just like, okay, we have to make this decision right now. And I remember it.
I had to decide, like, do I want to be here for my 2 kids? Yes. And that was, being a mom for my 2 earthly children was more important than potentially having a third baby. I always thought I had 3 babies waiting for me. I kind of technically have 3 earthly babies. So that threw definitely a wrench in studying, and I went into surgery, and I remember 2 weeks later, I was like, I'm bored. I can't sit here. I was still in that time of recovering. I was on now test 6, and I was studying the hospital. 2 weeks later, I remember I had family and friends tell me that I was crazy for wanting to go take the test again. So I took test number 6 and 7, failed both of those. I'm telling you,
still the school exam? Or
still school.
Because you have to pass the school exam before you do
then
state and national. So there's 3 total tests to get your real estate license.
I suck at taking tests. I've never been the best student until I went to University. Phoenix had nothing but essays instead of exams. But I've always been a CD student in high school, whatever. Not the most studious. Like, I always studied. I just sucked at tests. I had really bad test anxiety. 6, 7 exam, failed. And then come back to before they went to tablet based. And now it's like randomized of what questions you get instead of kind of like, okay, by the time you get to test exam, you're back to test number 1. And if you remember the questions from test number 1, you should do okay. Bless my heart, I passed.
Passed the school after 8 tries?
Yeah.
8 tries, passed the school.
But at the same time, I was actually documenting my journey.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were posting it all over social.
My very first brokerage was very big.
Actually active on social.
Yeah, before I was active in social media, before I had an active license, she said, document your journey. I am grateful for that brokerage for getting me into social media, which I need to get back to. I will. And so I would make a post on Snapchat because it disappeared. Oh, yeah. And I'd be like, hey guys, I'm going into my exam, number such and such. Wish me best of luck. You found out the results the same day. I would walk out. Hey guys, I hate to disappoint you, but I failed.
Okay, so how many times did you fail? This is the state exam?
This is school exam. It took me test number 8, so 7 failed tests.
7 failed tests on the school, and then how many times on the state?
Then you go to state and national, and that is a cost per test per attempt. Oh, yeah. So it took me 2 times to pass the national exam. Okay. That was $75 per test. But it took me 3 times to pass the state. Arizona has one of the hardest real estate licensing exams to get. A lot of it has to do with our land, our water rights, everything like that with selling the land multiple times.
But you stuck with it though.
I did. I didn't give up. Even though I was walking dead, I didn't give up. I didn't let the naysayers, those were telling me that me posting on social media that I failed the exam this many times, that I was dumb.
It's true.
Literally was told.
Got some haters.
I'm dumb. I'm showing myself as being dumb, illiterate. I can't do this. And my response is that I'm going to continue to document this, that I'm not going to give up on these exams just because they're hard. And in the end, I'm not going to give up on my clients.
And honestly, that in itself, like your story of all of your failures and like all of the shit you had to deal with just to get your real estate agent or to get your real estate license, that's everything you need to know about the type of real estate agent she is. She does not give up. Like if there is something that you want, I know, I'm married to you. I've been married to you for a while. If there's something that you want, you're getting it, no matter what.
And you don't mess with my clients.
The persistence and then the care. And so, and I remember like, you know, once you finally passed, we were so pumped. And it was really funny because the whole purpose, she was supposed to be a part-time realtor.
Part-time, so I can help my baby.
Yeah, you still like to say you're a part-time realtor, but like,
full-time.
Yeah, you're a top producer. You're ridiculous. So I remember you going into that, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna do it part-time, just something to kind of do in between to keep me busy dealing with
while the kids are at school and while I have a toddler at home."
And that first year, this is when I was still at the bank, and so I was getting most of my business on my own and referring it out, which is why we got you into real estate. I was like, "Oh, I'll just kick you a deal once a month, and that'll make some extra money." money, we can pay the bills,
I think
whatever.
we had 2 deals while you were that first year.
Oh man.
Because of the company.
Right. Well, because what
ended up being the
happened is
company.
every time you would try to send me a client, they're like, "Oh yeah,
It's Wells
I don't
Fargo, I
want
don't
to
wanna
work.
work with
I don't
you."
want to work with that bank."
So I did have a backup lender.
Right, and I
have
remember
one.
that. But I remember after like 6 months of me doing it, I'm like, the whole point of us doing this was so that we could actually work together.
Yeah.
And because of where I work, I now can't work with you. So that was a big eye opener for me, along with a bunch of other shit. But anyway, long story short, I ended up quitting the bank because, again, as a loan officer, there's only so far you can go. Not just for myself personally, but for my clients. Like,
Especially when you're with a big bank, you're very limited as a
limited
big
on
bank
what I
with
could do.
marketing, things that you could do. You couldn't be
even just
doing what
loan
you're doing right
products.
now.
Absolutely.
You could not without having approval.
Right. The loan I just got approved this morning, never in a million years
Right.
would have got approved at Wells Fargo, ever. So I finally left and got started, and now it's great because we get a lot of joint referrals.
We do. We have a lot of
Which
clients
is
that
not
really.
not this kind of joint, but
We have a lot of clients that have actually really enjoyed working with us together because even after that, this time of night, he'd be home. I may be writing an offer and I have a buyer that's like, hey, I want to double check numbers before I run it. How many lenders can you get hold of past 5 o'clock? You can, but not always. Luckily, I sleep with my lender.
Right.
I have easy access to my lender. I could go find him downstairs, upstairs. I can go find him wherever and be like, have my client on the phone, our client on the phone of like, hey, I need you to run this number right now as I'm writing this offer. We're sliding my phone back and forth or his phone back and forth while we're running numbers and I'm typing up the offer at the same time.
even when we were on vacation, like I remember,
Oh, yeah.
remember that one trip we had to drive all the way out to California, and we had a client.
Oh, it was one of our anniversary trips to San Diego.
Yeah, we were driving to San Diego in my old truck.
I bought my selfie stick for the first time ever.
Yeah, I remember this was like one of our very first deals together.
Yeah.
And we were so pumped. But like I remember like
filming each
I
other.
was driving, and this is when I was still starting to get into video before I had Eric. Thank God for you, Eric.
I was very much into videos and stuff at that point.
So I remember pulling over on the I-10 in California. So I was driving because you had just negotiated the offer.
Yeah.
You had like got it all figured out.
typing it out.
And then we needed to get the pre-qualification form. And so I
And
remember
update that.
Yeah, and update the pre-qualification
update
letter.
it.
So I remember pulling over on the I-10.
We swapped
We
seats.
swapped so that you could drive. I get my laptop out. I get the client on the phone.
And we're on our Bluetooth Wi-Fi on our
Oh
phone.
yeah, this is my 2006 Chevy Silverado. Like I did not have
yeah.
a fancy truck.
Big old blue.
Old blue. Still running.
Yeah.
Still going strong. But not my
I
daily
mean, that
driver
was like
anymore.
one of the fun times.
But it was fun, like, and our clients really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, and even recently, like, we still get calls, like, hey, like, I know, sometimes you'll get the call first, sometimes I'll get the call
Yeah.
first, but they do want us together because of the communication factor.
Well, and then they refer it to their friends and family, and their friends and family want the same package that they're
Right,
getting. They
right.
want the same experience.
Yeah.
And it really is an experience with us.
Oh yeah.
I mean, our clients know that we're blunt, we're down to earth.
what
We
you
don't
see is what you
sugarcoat-
get.
Yeah.
Like, this is us. Like,
And I mean, honestly, a lot of times they hear the banter over the phone as we're trying to talk to our client. They're hearing, I don't mute my phone. My clients hear our conversations if we're talking. They hear me. Unfortunately,
she's really bad at talk to text too. She never
I am.
proofreads her
I
shit, and
don't.
it drives me crazy.
but also our clients will hear me like after school with the kids, Mommy, I need this. Can you help me with this? I'm on the phone with a client right now.
But we do typically. I mean, we
see the real life.
well, and we treat our clients like family. Like
Yes.
we really do. And one thing I've noticed.
Once you're with us, you're stuck with us.
Well, especially with our type of clientele. So like it's something that I'm constantly talking to. Like I love
Yeah.
working with.
we have a very specific type of clientele.
No, honestly, it's like it's lower credit scores, less money, smaller price points. Like
It's what people do. It's what a lot of agents don't want, or a lot of lenders don't want. It's work.
It's the people that the realtors and lenders don't want to help because it's a little more difficult.
Our
It's a little more
FHA
complex.
buyers,
Yeah,
even our VA buyers.
I love our VA buyers.
We are a big military family.
Big military
But
family.
we have found that a lot of people don't want our FHA or our VAs because they don't understand the VAs behind it. But when we have to go back and educate them, and luckily our VAs love how well versed we are in the process of it, and that we unfortunately have to educate the other side.
And I do think so what I've noticed when we have a deal together and we're presenting that offer to the listing agent, I mean, we're always very transparent. You're like, my husband's the lender. I'm like, my wife's the buyer's agent.
The contract.
Yeah, we put it in the contract. But like Honestly, like, I think that is actually advantageous because I feel like a lot of these listing agents, when I'm speaking to them, they're like, oh shit, well, like if the realtor, trusts their lender enough and, they're actually married to him, like they know this is a deal that's going to go through. So I think it kind of makes them feel better about it.
Well, because as an agent, it is a big deal to call the lender.
We don't lose a lot of deals together. Like anytime we have a client and we're presenting an offer,
Lily,
like
stop.
I can't remember the last time we've had somebody tell us no because of that.
Yeah, I don't think we've had one, maybe two question what it's like to work with us, and there still is that lender realtor relationship where you do have that confidentiality line.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
He has the same things that he would not go tell his other lenders. He's not going to come and tell me because he's not allowed to. There's still that confidentiality line, and we've had to explain that to just maybe about 2 buyers of ours of like, yes, you'll still have that confidentiality line, whatever you've disclosed to him. There's certain things he can't disclose to us as a realtor.
Absolutely. Oh, and this is my favorite one because I do work with a lot of other real estate agents. When they find out I have a wife who's a real estate agent, that is concerning to them because they're like, oh, so she gets all of your referrals.
No.
So let's set the record straight right now. Do you get all my referrals?
No, because...
Do you even get 50%?
No. Here's the thing. If I hear him and he's working from home and I'm like, oh, you don't have a realtor? Hey, honey.
Jesus Christ. No.
And he's like, no, sorry, you're not next in line.
Yeah. I'll be on the phone with a client and I'll be like, oh, by the way, are you working with a real estate agent? If they say no, somehow she hears that. Like she'll come running from another room and be like, they don't have a realtor? They don't have a realtor? I'm like, this one's not yours. You don't get this one.
I do not get
because I am fair.
all his deals. Yes.
Because I have a lot of other referral partners. They send me business.
That referral line has to go back to that original realtor.
Is 1-to-1. If they send me a deal, I give them one back. So you're not always first in line unless they specifically ask for you or it comes from our referral line.
Yeah.
Because again, we do have clients that reach out and they're like, hey, like you and your wife helped my cousin or my coworker or whoever. Like we have one right now, actually.
We have one right now. They're like 5 years deep.
Oh, by the way, I'm still working on getting their credit score increased. I'm super close. I'm almost there.
Super close. But those are the clients that we work with is that I have had a client that I have worked with since day one in real estate, kind of waiting for a little bit of a crash.
Yeah. I'm going to get him improved. No, is it who I'm thinking of?
No.
Okay.
No.
Your other one, he's going to get approved in like a week.
Oh, good.
Once I get the tax returns.
But we'll sit there and we'll work with our clients. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's going to take you 1 year, 6 years. I'm going to stay by your side that entire time and we're going to follow up. No, that is one of them. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. That is one of them. There's another one that's kind of just waiting for a crash.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And that's not happening. We're not going to an '08 crash. The best thing for us is like we have enjoyed working together. That's kind of one thing that we wanted to is to be able to tag team our family. I mean, this week, not only am I a realtor, I do crossing guard at the kids' school. That's fun. It's fun.
So quick shout out. Not only is this woman an amazing real estate agent, your negotiation skills seriously like amaze me sometimes. I don't know how you can't use them in the same way with our children that you can with clients because our kids don't ever listen to you.
No, they don't. Love our kids, they don't. They're just they're mini versions of me, that's why.
That's fair. Yeah, you're arguing with yourself. You can't win against yourself.
Exactly.
Especially our son.
No.
But no, like I still remember one of our first deals together. Like you were on the phone with, and and it was not during the time we're in now, so like it wasn't quite as big of a, different market anyway. But I remember this dude asked for like a bunch of stuff on the Binzer, like a bunch of repairs.
Was I seller or buyer?
You were on the list side.
Oh, I was. Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
And in the most professional way, you basically told this guy to go fuck himself and to take it or leave it.
It was a husband-wife team, and it was year 2.
It was hilarious.
It was year 2, and they knew if you pull a realtor's numbers, you can tell if they're a newbie or not.
This is the research she does.
They were a probably 40 plus years in real estate couple. They tried to, no joke, my second year in, I was bullied. I was bullied by every opposite transaction that I had on the other side. This couple was by far the worst.
The problem is when you bully her, that's when she goes into like beast mode and turns it around on.
And it may look like I'm angry. I'm passionate. It may look like I'm upset. I'm angry.
Just resting bitch face.
I do. But then if you, excuse my language, fuck with my clients, You'll get the professional beast out of me.
It's true. She's very professional about it, but
Don't fuck with my clients.
you took this guy to school, man. It was hilarious. You're like, yeah, so we won't be doing any of that. This house, we have several other options lined up, so you can take it or leave it.
Well, it was also the AC. It was during the mid. It was during the mid summer that we were. Our summer highs were higher than Iraq.
Well, because I feel like most newer agents, like the second they get, like there's that combativeness, they're just like, oh, okay, yeah, like, you know, they don't want to lose a deal. Like they have so we have a name, we have a name for it on the lending side because we can tell.
Oh, God.
We call it commission breath. We can tell when a real estate agent has commission breath when they're in need of a check. Because like you can smell the desperation.
Oh, 100%. You know when they're hurting because that's when they get feisty. That's when they get mean.
Right.
They get rude to the other side.
And that's never an issue with you because this is our bonus. We don't need this. This is for fun. So
I don't do it for the commission. I do it for my clients wholeheartedly, and I give back a lot to my clients.
Oh, absolutely.
My VAs, my VAs always get a credit from me. But I give back. I don't focus on the commission numbers. I focus on what I'm trying to get my buyers into, and that is the home ownership goal. This home that we're in was the first time I purchased a home. The first home he bought it himself, so I got to experience it.
For my audience, she's only licensed in Arizona.
Yes.
But who is your ideal? If you could pick an ideal client, what would your ideal client be?
My FHA, my VA clients.
Right? There's so much fun.
And I'm working with
first-time home buyers.
My first-time home buyers, and I am working with a very, very young.
Oh, yeah.
She's young, and it has been a home buying process. We have been in and out of contract. We've actually been up against multiple offers, and we're under contract. We're getting ready to close towards the end of this month. And to see the joy in her face of knowing that she's getting out of a rental situation and being able to buy her first home. For me, that is what does it. And I can tell the moment my buyer walks in the home that that's the home for them, and I will not let them miss up writing an offer on it.
All right, cool. Now we're going to get a little personal. I found some questions on the internet. I got some rapid fire questions here.
Oh, God.
I know pretty much everything about you, but let's see if I can figure some stuff out today.
See if I get it.
Okay, what was your funnest subject in high school, and which one did you dread?
I hated high school.
You didn't have any?
No.
Subjects? Okay.
I was bullied throughout high school. I just wanted to finish and graduate.
The internet, don't judge me.
I'm judging you.
What is one attribute of your mother that you see in yourself?
I love you, Mom. But I'm a yeller. Love my kids. My first go around is to yell, and I'm sorry, children. Sorry, Mom. Don't mean to call you out. No one knows.
What would you do if you had an entire week to do anything, all expenses paid?
Sit on my couch and send my kids away for a quiet week. I love you guys. Sorry.
All expenses paid? That's the best you can come up with?
Okay, maybe go to Paris.
There you go.
Maybe go to Paris without my kids.
Paris without the kids.
Just you.
I'm good with that.
Love you, Lily. I'm getting the...
What is your biggest pet peeve about your significant other? What's your biggest pet peeve with me?
Have a pet peeve?
You've probably got 10.
I can't think of a pet peeve.
You heard it here first. I'm perfect, folks.
He's not perfect.
Oh, yeah, you just
He just put me on the spot.
Yep, perfect. Okay, moving on.
Cleaning up after himself.
I clean up more than you do. Don't start with me.
That's true.
I'm the clean one in this house. Yeah, I got nothing.
I have nothing. I'm sure there's something there. I have nothing, though.
If you could own the world's largest collection of anything, what would it be? Largest collection. I know what I think you're going to say.
Racing medals.
Racing medals? Okay.
Yep, racing medals.
I was going to say shoes or purses.
And then purses is my second.
Or maybe wine.
Goal. I mean, yeah, wine, rosé.
Yeah, rosé all day.
Racing medals and then purses and then shoes.
Ooh, this is a good one. What age would you like to be for the rest of your life?
You know what? I'd be happy at my current age now.
Really? Okay. I'm 16. I'd love to be a 16-year-old forever. You have no worries.
You know what? I'm going to say any age above the age of 25. I would be happy with any age of 25.
I'd love to be a 16-year-old my entire life. It'd be epic.
No.
You
not
imagine
for
the
me.
damage I could do to the world with my knowledge now if I was 16?
Oh, Lord. We'd be fucked.
Absolutely. Ooh, what game show would you like to be on?
Family Feud.
Family Feud?
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Because it's, again, rapid fire. You got to come up with the first question, first answer.
Is Ninja Warrior a game show? Because I want to be on that.
Ninja Warrior would be a lot of fun. I would think it's considered a game show. Oh, thanks,
Ooh,
Lily.
here's a good one. What is your favorite memory about us?
My favorite memory. Oh, I've got two.
Two favorite memories. Okay.
I've got two.
What if they're the same as mine?
The first one is me dreadingly having to call you to take me to the hospital for the birth of
That's right.
Evelyn, my oldest, not your child. That's right. And my second, well, no, that's going to be my second memory.
Okay.
My first absolute best memory was when you proposed. Because it was at Disneyland. I took him to Disneyland on his birthday.
So she took me to Disney for my
his birthday.
As like a present to me.
And then I ended up getting a really bad headache. And so I was with my sister and I was like, let's go down to Main Street. We need to go find some Tylenol. As we were walking down there, I was like, how cool would it be if Brayden proposed at Disneyland?
To be fair, her sister did know because
She already knew.
I let everybody know that I was
My
going to
twin
propose.
sister, she already knew.
I had the ring in my pocket. Also, I was smart, gentlemen. If you are going to propose, do it on a day that you will be able to remember.
Yes.
So I proposed on my birthday.
On his birthday, so he can never forget it.
So I can't forget.
And so we were walking back to like towards the castle, and all of a sudden my sister like disappears, and I was like, where are you? And then I was just told walk straight, and I was walking towards the wishing well of
Cinderella's castle.
no, Cinderella's Disney World.
Jesus Christ, I always get it
Sleeping
wrong.
Beauty's castle is California.
Snow White was my next guess. So.
No, Snow White didn't have a castle.
I don't know.
She did, but no, it was Sleeping Beauty's castle at Disney.
I don't care about Star Wars
I
like
could
that.
be wrong, but Cinderella, I'm a Cinderella freak. Hers is Disney World. So we walk, and all of a sudden, I see him at the wishing well. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And no one's around us.
I'm pretty sure my proposal went something like this. You, me, love, Mary. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was it. I had no words. I was so nervous.
Well, and what happened prior? What happened prior to you proposing?
Oh my God. So like,
prior to you proposing?
so I'm one of those people that lives like in a worst case scenario world, right? So I always try to think, what's the worst possible thing that could happen to make this not go through? So I was like, okay, the only thing that could ruin this, because I wasn't worried about you saying no. I figured you were going to say yes.
Yeah. You just assumed?
Which of course, yeah. Of course. I knew what I was getting into. I don't ever ask questions I don't know the answer to.
Well, at least you knew what you were getting into.
Oh, I knew I was getting into. So I knew I wasn't worried about that. I was like, okay, she's not going to say no. It's not going to be embarrassing. I was like, the only thing that could ruin this is if somebody else proposes as I'm about to. And as I'm thinking that thought, somebody walks up and gets on their knee and straight up proposes to their girlfriend as she's on her way over. I was like, shit. Like, this is actually happening. Like, the worst case scenario in my head was actually coming true. So I was like trying to like wave everybody off, like, don't get over here yet. Like, but it was weird. Like, it was, I think it was like
no one was there when we were there. I think there was one couple.
I think it was like a fake proposal because the dude like got down on a knee, gave her the ring, and she was like, oh my God. And then they left like 2 seconds later.
It wasn't
So
anything like our proposal.
I feel like it was a recreation and they were maybe already married, but anyway.
Maybe. But then all my other memories are the births of our kids with you.
Mine's that week we spent in Belize.
Oh, Belize. Belize was amazing.
It was during,
It was March of 2020, and we made it back just in time when the world shut down. We woke up to apocalypse of food.
That's right. So this was crazy.
Zero food in the store.
So I remember it was my second year at Lone Depot, and it was the first year that I had won their President's Club.
Yeah.
And so typically when you win a President's Club award, you get to go on a trip. And that trip that year was Mexico? It was Mexico. But COVID was like beginning. It wasn't quite a thing yet, but like there were concerns about it.
Yeah.
And so they decided to end the trip. And I had already pre-planned for my mother to come and watch our kids for a week, knowing that we were going to be on this trip in Mexico. And so then they canceled it. And I'm like, well, I'm not letting a free babysitter get away with us for a week. So I literally just Googled like where are the best places to visit this time of year. And so we chose Belize. Found this awesome
on the beach, adult only.
Yeah, this adult only resort. Mara Chica.
Mara Chica. It was well far enough away from all the touristy things. We don't like to do touristy things.
No. Well, what was cool was, so because like the rest of the world was scared to death of COVID, and we were just like, I don't give a shit. Like, I die. Like, let's have some fun. And so, like, the entire resort, we had that place to ourselves.
There was only maybe one other couple there.
There was maybe one other couple. Like, it was literally that empty.
The island was very empty. It was we took a plane in, and then we had to take this really small plane to an island,
to a golf
and then
cart, to a boat.
To our place.
It was super remote, but it was legit. We got to know all our bartenders really well because we were like the only ones in the resort. So they catered to us. We got all kinds of free drinks. Like, that was such a fun trip.
It was a very fun trip, but we were still working.
Oh my God.
We were slammed.
But we timed it so well because literally like the day we got home, the day after is when everything went into lockdown. So had we planned our vacation a day later, we would have been stuck in Belize for like a month, which
I mean, I wouldn't have complained.
God, that would have been great,
but
right?
We did wake up, I think, day 2 or day 3 into our trip, and we were looking on Facebook. We're like,
oh shit, this is real. Like, something's happening.
Food.
Yeah.
It literally was food apocalyptic.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
What?
Lily? Apocalyptics.
The apocalypse. Food apocalypse.
All right. Well, we've been doing this for a while. Thank you.
You're welcome, babe. Love you.
So good to have you. So, for those of you that would like an amazing real estate agent, let's talk about areas you cover, just so we have that out there.
Okay.
So, not preferred, but just where are you willing to work to either help people sell or buy a home?
Well, there's no place that I'm not willing to work.
The entire state of Arizona.
Entire state of Arizona. We do have to subscribe to certain MLSs in certain areas. So I am in the entire East-West Valley, and then I am also up north in the White Mountains. I have a referral in Holbrook. So I do Pine Top, Lakeside, Show Low, Pinedale, down to Clay Springs.
Yeah, sorry, Yvonne's still my girl.
Yeah, Yvonne is who I go to for Holbrook. Holbrook, Joe City, that's just a little too far. It's its own little special area.
It's a unique area. Certain areas require certain expertise. I love you, but Yvonne needs to handle all my Holbrook deals because she's the best there is.
I have a referral for Snowflake, but anything south of Snowflake into Clay Springs, I take care of. Working on getting Central Arizona right now, which is Payson area and Heber Overguard. So I kind of work wherever is needed. If I don't have an agent in that area, I do have a referral agent, as well as out of states. I've got a phenomenal realtor in Chicago area that I work a lot with.
So if you would like to buy or sell your home with Heather Hatch, how did they get in touch with you? What's your phone number?
Oh, 480-620-2412. If you want to work with this hot mess, just call me.
Just got my wife's number. Get it. No, thank you so much. Again, we do love helping people. She's not the only realtor I work with, but she is one of my favorites. I'll give her.
I wish I was the only one, but
she's the only one I'm allowed to touch like this. So.
Is that appropriate?
Who cares? This is my channel. I can do whatever the fuck I want. So, well, cheers, baby. Thanks for this. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Tell your mom.
Tell your mom.